Thank you very much, and welcome to Cats and Dogs here on Press TV with me, Len Madopic. And let me start by thanking the team here in the studio for turning up for work, because right now in Britain, no one else is. Yes, folks, in the largest wave of strikes in decades, hundreds of thousands of workers plan walkouts amid a nationwide cost of living crisis. This could include nurses, rail workers and Royal Mail staff. So Britons should get ready for a holiday season of delayed post, cancelled trains and a medical service so stretched that by the time you get to see a doctor, it won't matter anymore because either you'll be better or dead. Now, most strikers want a pay rise in line with or greater than inflation. But Prime Minister Sunak wants to limit the damage, saying if union leaders continue to be unreasonable, then it is my duty to take action to protect the lives and livelihoods of the British public. But what action? Imposing a tax on strikers? Arresting them? Or will Rishi actually drive an ambulance himself during the New Year holiday? That's not wise, actually, since he's mainly been driven around by somebody else. On the upside, if his driver goes on strike too, at least Rishi could use the ambulance to get himself to work. Now, another option would be to fly back some of those migrants from Rwanda. But let's be honest, have you compared the weather? Sunshine and heat, or getting frozen during UK power cuts? And besides, since the Border Force could also be on strike, they won't be able to get in anyway. So what should you do if a festive guest at your place stops breathing? Get trained before it's too late. How? Use internet. Well, unless, of course, power cuts mean you can't. Or will Rishi give us all a first aid course? Oh, yes. Such training will help you handle anything from a heart problem to a gunshot wound, broken leg, or even people displaying anti-government hysteria. But what about even more major surgery? Well, there's only one team for that job, Mohammed bin Salman's field unit. Just pop into any Saudi consulate and you'll never look back, or anywhere. But don't try that at home, folks, unless you're sure the White House will give you that all-important immunity from prosecution. But I digress. Now, some argue nurses do deserve more pay, but they miss the point. Think about what NHS actually stands for. No high salaries. Rumour has it that ministers are also planning instructions to help everyone through the storm of strikes. Here's what the list might include. Want to send a letter? Why not deliver it yourself? Or if it's light, how about a pigeon? Do health checks the good old-fashioned way, namely, for yourself. No train? Why are you going to work anyway? You should be on strike. Watch cowboy movies. They had the perfect pre-industrial life, and so can you. Strikers beware. We can bring back Thatcher from the dead, just like the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. Now, rail strikes are less of a problem. With a little cooperation, you only need one train and one driver per city, like this. I doubt there was a ticket inspection on that one. Meanwhile, other groups are dealing with their own particular brand of industrial action, like the British royal family. King Charles is working, but some other royal relatives might be working a bit too much. Oh yes, Buckingham Palace is enduring more heat and criticism from the world's most famous insider traders, Harry and Meghan. In a Netflix series, they've dedicated themselves to delivering yet more embarrassing bobs against King Charles and Prince William. Harry even alleges the royal family has, amongst other things, confirmation bias. What's this all mean? In yet another Cats and Dogs exclusive, let's find out from the head of state himself, His Royal Highness, King Charles III. Your Royal Highness, welcome to Cats and Dogs.
Cats and Dogs? Is that anything to do with Battersea Dogs Home?
No, it's actually a comedy show.
You're not a naughty Netflix, are you?
No, Your Royal Highness, we wouldn't dare compete with your son.
Oh, yes, that series.
But on that point, Harry and Meghan have accused the royal family of racism. Do you agree?
Well, I do recall in 2005, Harry wore a Nazi uniform to a costume party. But he apologized, didn't he? And he said it was one of the biggest mistakes of his life. I think he agrees it was idiotic.
In which case, now he's grown up, can you see a change in him?
Yes, one could say he now does idiotic things for money.
What's your view about racism?
The royal family loves all ethnicities. So does the British Empire. That's why Britain colonized so very many different cultures all over the world.
Now, Harry says the royal family has unconscious bias.
Well, if it's unconscious bias, how would one consciously know about it? By the way, how much is Harry being paid for all these revelations?
About $100 million, I think. But what do you say about unconscious bias?
At least we now seem to know the cure for it.
What's the cure for unconscious bias?
By the looks of it, around $100 million.
Aren't you mad at Harry and Meghan?
No, not at all. Just Meghan. Apparently, according to her own claims, she's the only conscious one in the whole thing.
Your Majesty, thank you.
I have to go now. Apparently, the Prime Minister wants me to help him drive an ambulance.
What does the public think about the royal family, including the Harry-Meghan whistleblowers? Meanwhile, in Germany, 25 people were arrested in raids across the country for plotting to overthrow the government. The group of far-right and ex-military figures are said to have planned a Day X attack on the Reichstag Parliament building to seize power, though others say it's just another Harry and Meghan Netflix plot twist. Anyway, the alleged conspirators were arrested on suspicion. But was this an attempted coup or just an excuse to arrest the opposition? Among suspects linked to the so-called Reichsbürger coup is celebrity chef Frank Heppner from Munich. He said something like, "The government is just cooking the books." He also says he's perfectly suited to power because I've been cooking things for years. But here's what's odd. While this was going on in Germany, the German government slammed Tehran for arresting violent protesters for vandalism or even murder, and for threatening public order and security. Apparently what's fair in Germany is unfair in Iran. Happily, such double standards could soon end in Britain because those who'd have done the arresting could be on strike. That's all for this week. Join me again next time to find out who's running picket lines, who's running Meghan and Harry's publicity machine, and who's running Germany. That's all on Press TV with me, Len Topic, and Cats and Dogs.